Abundance flows to me when I get out of my own way. Life is so easy when I focus on what is great. I am worthy of reciprocated energy. I am worthy of a love that loves as deep as me. I am worthy of aligning with my higher self. I am worthy of desiring miracles.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Crazy Talk. In today's episode, I wanted to address how BPD impacts our relationships. So today we'll be covering identity disturbance and abandonment fears, and more. So make sure you stay till the end to hear some great tips on how to help you maintain long-term healthy relationships. So borderline personality disorder is one of the most isolating, loneliest illnesses, if not the most, because of how intensely we feel. So when we feel isolated and alone, like it's deep. From our perspective, we can't seem to really figure out why people leave. All we see is that everyone leaves us. So that kind of feeds into the fear of abandonment, right? We just want friends, we want people to love us and show they care about us and stay despite the flaws despite the fact that we can come across as manipulative and abusive. We expect people to stay through that. But we're going to talk about that. And from my experience, the people that I'm convincing myself don't love me, they do actually love me. They just don't meet my standards. And as awful as that is, it's true. I set these expectations based on my own perception of love, how I love. That's how I expect to be loved. But unless that person has BPD as well, that's just not going to happen. When I say I love you more, I mean it. Because literally, like, my whole heart wraps around this person. Like, I love them intensely with my whole being. So that kind of, like, makes their reciprocation of love feel less than what it is. Even though, they're loving you to the best of their ability. I mean, that's not always the case. Like, that's just my experience. Now, we do get in some relationships where they don't love us and we trick our minds into staying and telling ourselves that we're crazy. But that's a completely different situation, and that will be a later episode. So yeah, like I said, like, unless you have BPD, you really can't love us the same, like, as intense as we love you. I mean, and that you'd be grateful. I mean, and like, that's okay. Just give us the reassurance we need. When we ask for you to love, when we ask you for the 600th time that day, if you still love us, just say yes. Even when we're being annoying, yeah, baby, I love you. And that, or if it not even if it's just your friends, like, even if they don't ask you, like, for a friend, I would never ask, do you still love me? I'll say, do you still like me? And my friend, she always tells me, yeah, but, like, it's a simple yes. Yes, you're the best. Yes, you're great. Yes, you're loved. Yes, you're amazing. You're a great person. That simple act gives us so much validation and feeling of love. It just fills our cup. So, I mean, and unfortunately, that's not an easy task for some people. I've had lots of people just be like, you're too much. You're asking for too much. Like I said in episode 2, and I'm pretty sure I already said in this episode. Maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. This is like my 6th retake. But like I said in episode 2, if it's too much for them to give you a little bit of reassurance and validation that you are loved and you are valued, you don't need them. It's not too much. It's really not. It may be annoying, absolutely yes, but it is not too much. You deserve to feel loved and you deserve to be valued. And you're not just doing this to be annoying. You most likely experienced some type of abandonment trauma in your life, and this is that reaction. You need constant validation that they still love you and they are not going to leave you. I ask my partner literally at the bare minimum 5 times a day, do you still love me? Do you still want to be with me? Am I too much? Is this too much for you? And oh God, I might cry. Um, that simple reassurance is just so much. I don't understand why that's so hard for other people. But that's why I just learned if you can't do that for me and you're okay with me just sitting here smiling and oops, yes, I had Doritos. My hands are Dorito-y. But if you're going to sit here and call me crazy and get mad because I just need a little bit of reassurance, I don't need you in my life. Nope. I'll go on to the next and find someone that I'm not too much for. Thank you. Bye. But like I said, my partner, he'll reassure me. Sometimes he does, he does have a little annoyed voice to it. But that's usually because he's overstimulated because I was running through the house just making my random howls and being weird and crazy. But that's just him. He gets overstimulated. And now I know that, so I can understand that. So he just rolls his eyes and be like, yes, baby, for that. I love you. I love you a lot. You're great. You're the best. And then I smile and I just give him a kiss and I leave. And I'm good. I'm on cloud 9 now that I got that reassurance. And that, I mean, to be honest, that didn't happen right away. There were many times when he would just he used to get mad. But then I would react very negatively to that. And that's kind of where we get classified as manipulative because from their perspective, they don't give us what we're asking for, which for us is that validation. So we get mad and react. I hope y'all can't hear that damn cat. But yeah, so that's where we kind of get classified as manipulative because y'all see that impulsive, y'all don't give us what we're looking for, which for us is that validation, but we don't necessarily say that, or we're not talking about what's going on in our brain. So y'all see the reaction when we don't get that validation. And then for me, I would withdraw. I would be very upset. I'll be blasting sad songs and crying all day, and I'm not talking to anybody for the rest of the day. And that is manipulative. It's a silence treatment. And then he just comes and rubs my back, and I'm all happy again. But I'm not doing it on purpose. That's never my intention. That's literally my genuine reaction. When we BPD people, when we get a hint of rejection, which real or imagined, we have a tendency to go way left field, because that hurts us to our core. We're triggered by that abandonment trauma. And until you can learn to control that, it's creates this hectic, chaotic relationship, which is why people leave. Now, I'm not saying that's your fault because, you've been through some shit. So it's only fair. You're not doing this for attention. You're not doing this because you're bored. You're doing this because it's a trauma response to abandonment. And normal people don't understand that. These people that grew up with mommy and daddies and know, their whole life, they don't understand that. They can't grasp the concept. So, you could try to explain all you want, but then they're just like, I don't see it that way. So that means your feelings are invalid. Wrong. Oh, God. Instantly, just like that. You can't see it, but my emotions soared. I'm fucking triggered right now by saying that. Ooh. See, we're so often labeled as crazy for our, because we went through trauma, because our brains developed a way to protect itself. I'm crazy? We're crazy? No, you're not crazy. And you are allowed to feel that shit. So feel it. Just don't negatively impact somebody else because you're hurting. That's the key. That's the thing you're not allowed to do. You're allowed to feel whatever you want. You can have anger issues. You can go want to scream at every little thing, but you can't. You can't do that. So you can feel it in your head. But just as long as you know that you're not hurt physically, verbally, mentally hurting anybody, that's okay. So you're not crazy. I find that the best solution to that is knowledge. Understanding. People understanding what's going on in our brains leads to acceptance and not this negative reaction to us, because they think you're crazy, but you're not. There's real stuff going on here. There's real reasons for the behaviors you're showing. Like, I cannot believe people would literally say you're starting arguments because you're bored. I don't know about you, but I think I'd much rather watch an argument on TV than fucking have a heart rate of 130, my blood pressure up, hot and sweaty, pulse racing, feeling sick to my stomach, and feeling like my whole world's going to be crumbling down every time someone hurts my feelings. Oh yeah, that's real excitement. Ah, anyways. So the point is, learning your triggers is the key to that. And that's really the key to maintaining a healthy relationship, because you can't be out here unstable, acting crazy and acting a fool every time someone hurts your feelings. There I go. I said acting crazy. I mean, it is, to them, it is crazy. It does seem crazy. It's erratic and impulsive, self-destructive behavior that they cannot grasp. They cannot grasp the concept of. Because it makes sense to us does not make it make sense to them. In reality, and it's an unhealthy, certain things are an unhealthy behavior. I've learned that some people can take, like for me, some people can take me walking away and not talking as an unhealthy behavior. But honestly, that's a lot better than me reacting at every single thing that annoys me when I'm hurting. So instead, my family knows that when my door is closed and I'm in bed and I'm not responding, I just need time. And then I come around. I have been very open with my mindset and my mental health, so they are both aware of what's going on. I feel like that's very important, because if you're just over here acting a certain way, nobody's understanding what's going on in your brain. How can they really how can they get an understanding? How can they empathize if they don't know? So that's like, our lack of communication, because we fear people are going to leave us if we tell them what's going on in our brain, has the reverse side effect, and it just feeds this cycle. So even though, like for me, when I'm upset, my first instinct is I can't tell them. I can't tell anybody that I'm upset, because if I do, they're going to be mad and they're going to react and they're going to leave. I mean, in the end, I always leave before them every single time when that argument. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Communicate what's wrong. So now our next topic, identity disturbance, or self-identity, the lack thereof. This is a big one for borderline personality. I don't think it's as impactful as the mood swings and things like that I was talking about earlier, or just talking about. But it's still impactful, because you're having a lack of self-identity really can come off as someone who is not put together. They're kind of chaotic and living like a free, crazy, like up and down life. But in real, I mean, it can feel like that for us too, but that's not by choice. So what does identity disturbance look like? So if you're frequently changing your jobs, God, I have literally at least three W-2s a year. Frequently changing friends, um, frequently changing aspirations, um, frequently changing your opinions and beliefs, and like frequently making different like big life changes. Like I'm going to college, or I'm changing this degree, or um, I'm moving to Arizona and now I want to move to Florida. I'm breaking up with my fiance. Now I think I like somebody else. Stuff like big life decisions. But all of the, if you're having all these symptoms, then you likely suffer from identity disturbance. If you are suffering from, a lack of self-identity, you're probably very well aware of it. I know I definitely was, but I was so surprised to find out there was a term for it. You know, I just thought it was me. And then I got into my borderline personality group and then found out that other people do the same thing. And then I was researching for this episode and I found vocabulary for it. I love when I find terms for words that describe me because I feel so less abnormal. But anyways, back on topic. You most likely know. You've probably felt some like, what's my purpose? What am I doing with my life? You have been pulled in every single direction. You have no idea what you want to do. Do you want to be a mom or dad? Do you want to be a professor? Do you want to be a bum? The possibilities are endless. There have been many times where I'm just like, I just want to fuck everything. I'll be a bum on the side of the street. But luckily, I never gave in to that impulse. So don't. But anyways, and it's not as simple as just that, to us, we always have our reasons for this stuff. Like, I don't just change jobs because I want something different. I change jobs because my brain is fucking crazy. I mean, I should stop using that word. But shit always happens when I go to jobs. So there's always a reason for me to leave. I always get upset. And after about 3 months, I'm literally ready to kill myself. So instead of killing myself, I quit and find a new job. But anyways, the point is all of these point to someone unstable. And most normal people don't really want to associate with someone unstable because who you associate with affects who you are. Parents always said that, and I was like, that don't make no damn sense, but it makes perfect sense. Who you associate with affects who you are. And for us, with identity disturbance, this is especially true because we literally soak up their personalities. We become our favorite person every time. We pick up characteristics and traits we like from other people. Even movies. I've noticed there have been many things. Woo, I like. Oh God, I feel so. I relate to this person right here. And then so I'm watching the show. I'm watching the show. Next thing you know, I'm starting to talk like them. I'm starting to put hand movements like this. Like it's just simple things like that. And then like for us, like when you're in a relationship or something, it's so easy for us to get lost and lose ourselves. Well, first of all, because we have a very weak sense of who we are to begin with. So we're insecure. So we're just willing to do whatever that person wants and say we like whatever they like so they don't leave. Because good God, be fearful. I don't like something my partner likes. They might leave me. It took me a long time. I think maybe 2 years to tell my partner that I can't stand his classical music. I can't stand it. literally drives me crazy. I hate it every time he plays it, but I let him play it to be fair. But I literally used to pretend like, oh yeah, let's jam. I don't like that shit. Put on some Nicki Minaj and some Taylor Swift, please. Anyways, but stuff as simple as that, like changing your music style, the shows you watch, what you like to do. It's so crazy. And then sometimes, like for my situation, it wasn't that like I was changing myself for him. It was more so that I suppressed myself for so long that I never gave myself the chance to develop wants and needs. Anything I liked, I was criticized and bullied for. So why would I spend? I just did what I thought other people wanted from me, and my opinion. I think that's where that stems from. Like, I mean, because if you're criticized on who you are from a young age, you're going to learn to suppress that, and you're going to feel guilty and feel like people are going to leave you or not like you for being who you are. But fuck them if they don't. Like I said, you don't need them. You don't need nobody but yourself. Okay? So be you, honey. Be you. Um, and since I've learned that and discovered that, like, this relationship has been so good for me because I have spent a lot of time diving into myself. And literally so surprised at the things I like. Like growing up, I would never think that I would like this shit. Like I'm out here gardening. I like hiking. I love it. I love running. My ass hasn't done it in a while, but I do love it every time I get into it. And just stuff like that. So that's why the importance of this topic, the key thing I'm taking away is you need to stop. You need to stop diving into relationships until you can learn to get a secure sense of self. You need to take time. I was looking on my group the other day, and this woman was posting about how she cannot be alone. And that's a big thing for all of us. I'm not going to say all, most of us. We do not like to be alone. So we'll do anything and everything to get into the next relationship. We feel this urgency to fill that void. But that's a problem. If you feel like that, that's your sign. You need to stop. You don't need no boy. You don't need, oh God, and it gets me, these boys out here. There's boys out here just feel like sex just solves everything. So they're just going and screwing girls left and right because they're hurt. They're going to hurt other people. Come on. How about instead of masking this pain you're feeling, accept it, embrace it, acknowledge it, and talk about it so other boys don't feel that way? What a world we could live in. It's not just BPD, and I don't like labels. I can't stand them. I can't stand them because we're all connected. Like it's just no, I don't like category. I don't like it. I just can't stand it because I'm speaking for all of us. There's so many people that do this that don't fall under BPD. But like embrace your feelings, feel the pain. Instead of diving in to somebody else just to get hurt again or hurt them so you can feel a little better by yourself. Stop and think about why you want to hurt somebody so you can feel better. Stop and reflect on why that relationship ended or why that person did what they did. They could either just be a horrible person, or sometimes for us BPD people, we could be the problem. It took me about 15 years, not 15, 10 years to realize I was the problem growing up. I mean, given my family was very, very toxic, but I had no control over that. And that infuriated me. That was the main basis, I feel like, for a lot of my things. I had no control over anything that was happening to me. So my control was punching holes in the walls, cussing everybody out, and hurting as many people as I could. that made me feel good temporarily in that literal second, but trash forever. That's not who I am. I'm a very nice person, but I let my emotions get the best of me. And that's why before you're jumping into these relationships and hurting other people, it's important to take the time, dive in, and find out your triggers, why you're reacting this way, why you're hurting. These feelings, I said this last episode, these feelings are here to tell you something's wrong. It's the same thing as a pain receptor. When you burn your hand, your that pain is not just because. I mean, it's happening, but it's your body telling you something's wrong. There's something hurting you. So when you're feeling that rage and that pain and that hurt, that's your body telling you something's hurting you. Something's wrong. So instead of taking it out on somebody else and masking it and putting would you put a band-aid on a burn? No. So don't put a band-aid over those feelings. Feel that shit, dive into it, and address your issues. And I promise to God, people will come to you, the right people, not the people that you're pretending to be like, just because any attention fills that void. If you are not okay with being by yourself, then you have work to do. And by all means, I'm not pretending to be all perfect. I'm not. But I'm definitely okay with myself. I love myself now. You can too. Just stop putting your worth in these people. They are not gods. Oh my God. Oh, I almost forgot to say this quote I had written down. Like the famous Christina Yang once said, they are not the sun. You are. Okay? And that relates to, that is true for every single one of you. Do not think of anybody as a god. They are not. You are the star of your own show. You cannot control how they react. You cannot control how they treat you. You can control how you feel, though. You can control what you allow to affect you. You can control that. So, I think I got way off topic again. I have ADHD so bad. But anyways, the point is, take time alone to find out who you are, the things you like, what you want out of your life. And you should know those deep. You should know who you are to the core before you're in any type of relationship. And that's what I started to, when I stopped focusing on being unloved and focusing on the people that were not coming into my life or not loving me the way I wanted to. That's when I met the best person to come into my life. That's when my life changed for the absolute better. My life has only been going uphill since then. And this is not no fake facade for online stuff. Literally, I was homeless. Had these crazy ass roommates. And now I'm in my own house with the man I loved for 4 years, raising a kid, living, I guess, close to the American dream until I buy a house. I'm living a very good life. A life that I dreamt for years for having. That I swore. I tried to take my life many times because I swore I wasn't deserving of it and I would never obtain it. And look at me now. I can't even believe it. I'm in awe of myself. And once you stop putting your value on how other people see you, I promise to God you would feel that way too. I really, oh God, I hope you take this information and you really process it and you really apply it to yourself because it's so important for everybody's self-development. And yeah.
Abundance flows to me when I get out of my own way. Life is so easy when I focus on what is great. I am worthy of reciprocated energy.
If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes. Thanks, bye.